Hey there, welcome to my CAD. So let's get straight into the analysis for the week. This is EURUSD, starting with EURUSD. This is the monthly time frame. We can establish there's a downtrend, and we see this bearish momentum from last month, which could mean that the market wants to continue lower. But is the market actually telling us that? Well, my entries are intact, as you can see, and my take profit is somewhere down there. But as for whether EURUSD is coming down to that point, I expect it to go down there soon. So technically, what are we looking at? I would expect this area of the market. Yes, this particular area of the market has been really strong. You can see what it did. It served as support here, served as support here again, or maybe not. Served as support, served as resistance here, resistance twice now, right? And when the market had to cross it, it had to be a massive sell-off, right? So I expect the market to continue its downward trend from this point. This is what I expect, right? Is it going to push higher? Maybe push higher and close below. Yeah, so when you see a push higher and close below on the daily time frame, the New York day close candle, you might want to continue in that sell position or sell bias. You might want to take a sell from this point if it pushes above and closes below this 1.0678743 area. If it closes below that area, then look for a sell on the EURUSD time frame. On the EURUSD currency pair rather. Yeah, so let's move on to the next one. I'll try to be faster today. Now, for my prediction of CADCHF from last week, it held on the lower time frame, but did not give us something good enough on the higher time frame. So so it was not an accurate one, but we still have a scenario like that looking like it's going to play out. So if we have a retest of this area, now we have a retest of this area, possibly we might see some bearish momentum, but I'm actually not looking for one right now, because there's so much that seems to be happening with the CAD currency right now. There's a lot, and actually CHF too. Yes, so a lot happened last week, and it's been quite interesting to see what happened. So I would stay off for now, but if we're talking technicalities or technical aspect of the market, just let the market, if the price comes into this area, retest the structure right here, possibly we'll see a downward continuation. But like I said, I won't be looking for any position in this because of the current situation of the CAD and CHF currencies individually. So we can't really tell the direction right now. So for gold, XAUUSD, we can see that gold has broken above this diagonal resistance now. Now we see, I think the analysis from last week was quite accurate. I predicted okay, this was already there. I predicted the market coming into this area and possibly doing a downward push, and if it doesn't, it will break above and possibly have some reversals and continuation higher. So we've seen that the market has broken the structure, this area of the market, and there's also on the weekly as well. On our weekly time frame, it has also broken the diagonal resistance as well. So what would I expect? It would be nice to see. It would be nice to see gold continue higher. It would be nice to see gold continue higher. It would be nice to see gold continue higher right now. But the question is, would the question we need to realize or ask ourselves concerning the fundamentals, right, is that would the Feds allow the US dollar to keep crumbling? Would they allow it to keep dropping? I doubt it. And if the US dollar doesn't drop as it has started already, it means XAUUSD would see some lower prices. But strictly on technical analysis, we should have something like this. Possibly we see the market even break higher, right? Market will break higher, but I expect it to come back into this area before a continuation, you know, to the higher point of the market. And let me check what that is. Is that a, yeah, that is that's like the highest point of the market. So since the market is very close to the high, since price is close to the highest point of the market, I expect that some sales will be coming in right now. So I expect it to be a struggle to that point, but if it doesn't happen that way, fine too. So look for good entries and make sure you're also following the fundamentals, the news and all about the US dollar and gold if possible. Yeah, so for the USDCHF pair, well, the USDCHF pair actually did a lot of our predictions for last week, and let me clear this bar just a little so we can. Okay, so what do we expect right now? What I would expect from USDCHF is a continuation upwards, a bullish continuation. You might ask why. It's just quite, I consider it quite straightforward that the market has come into this area. The market has come into this area, and we zoom out a little, we see where this trend is coming from. This trend is a 2011 trend, right? Started in 2011, confirmed in 2020, retested in 2022. Now there's another retest in another just last week, right? So what do we expect? Personally, I expect the market to keep pushing higher, because this particular bullish momentum is a sign of some really huge involvement of investors in the market against the other pair, right? So investors came in for USD, CHF couldn't handle it, and we had a surge. Now, even when CHF is becoming strong or stronger than it was previous days, it could only do 2 candles that could cover almost less than 50% of what one candle did. So possibly we would see, most likely rather, we'll see a continuation to the upper side. So I would expect that you let the market, you let the price come around this 0.9291 area and close bullish. let the market close bullish significantly before you can put in some risk to trade to possibly, well, this should possibly give us a one-to-one first, then you can look for higher moves as well. You can also look for higher moves, because this appears to be, this could just be, I mean, the continuation of the forming bullish trend right now, because we can see higher high, you can see a low, higher high, and if we take this together, we can see it as a low and high high, and another lower, higher low trying to form, right? So I believe it is possible to take it like that. And the fact that this range has also been intact for some years, so look for buys on that. Now for GBPUSD, okay, so let's go to the daily and see what's happening. For GBPUSD, I expect the market to do similar things with the EURUSD. So like I said at one time, GBPUSD is doing totally something totally different from what the EURUSD is doing. That is an anomaly, and you should watch that closely and possibly stay away from the market. So if I to pick a major zone right now, it will possibly be around here, and maybe just correct it a little to this point. And so that'll be the major zone. So hopefully the market, possibly the market might come into this area and then do a drop, but we could also see it drop that way, right? We also see it drop that way. So a bearish, significantly bearish close below the 1.2086 area will possibly expose the 1.1895 area as well, right? So actually wait for it to be significantly bearish. Also penetration of this area and a close below, significantly below the 1.2262 area, we could see some sell-offs to the downside as well. Yeah, so that is that for GBPUSD. Let's go to USDJPY. USDJPY seems to have continued in a predicted direction. Yeah, as you can see. So this is where we target, but is there going to be a reversal or retracement around here? Well, if you see something like this, if you see the market go back into this 134.62 area before, and then penetrates that area and closes below significantly, you might want to continue the sell towards our target of 127.15 area, right? But if that doesn't happen, if, like I said, the USD gets seriously bullish, a significant close above the 134.62 area would expose the 138.112 area and even possibly higher, right? So that is very possible as well. So just take note of that. What you see when I'm talking about close, I'm talking about the day close candles, right? I'm not just talking about 1 hour, 4 hours. I'm talking about day close candles. Market penetrates and closes below. You could sell off. You could look for entries to trade to the 127.15. The market pushes above and closes above. You could look for ways to get into a buy to the 138.112 area. So let's go to EURUSD. EURUSD, good boy, has done well. And from my prediction last week, if you go back to the last week video, you would see my prediction, right? I told you about this diagonal resistance right here. I think I picked it from the weekly. Did I? I think I picked it from the weekly and made it clear on the daily, or maybe the daily too. So I told you about this diagonal support right here, or resistance rather. So we see this area from June 2022, you know, retested in about between September and October 2022, again December 2022, and now March 2023. So when I saw this, you know, bullish move out of the, you know, that area, I could tell that possibly this is not a comprehensive break out of that, out of this resistance, this diagonal resistance, right? I told you there's a possibility you see a bearish move and then sell off even to this area, right? So I predicted that possibly it comes into this area and then we see some bullish moves to buy, or it even drops, continues dropping as low as this. You can see my markups as low as this and even continue lower, right? So we've seen that the market has respected that analysis that we made. Yeah, so this is one of the reasons that you should, you know, stick around and stay with us. So EURUSD has done really well, so we look forward to see how it continues, right, to, you know, play out, how it continues to play out. So if we see a significant bullish close above the 1.5975 area, you know, we could see higher prices. We could see higher prices to as high as 160, back into 1.6185 area, right, and even much higher. Or if the market continues and closes below the 1.5860 area, we could see lower prices as low as 1.5683 area, and even much lower as well, right guys? So that is that for EURAUD. Don't forget we trade the daily close candles, please. So EURJPY also has fulfilled our predictions and it's on its way to our predicted targets. So what do we expect? If the market doesn't go directly down into our targets, or it comes into this area, if you see a violation of this area and a close below the 142.84 area, a daily close below, you might want to, you know, get on a sell to the downside to continue this, you know, sell momentum. But if we have a significant close above the 143.95 area, we might see it would expose the 147.02 area, right? So we may also see higher prices because this has actually been a bullish momentum that has been paused, right, on the much higher time frame to the monthly. You see that it's a bullish momentum that has been on a pause for a while, right? So it might want to continue in its massive bullish momentum, but if not, you might see lower prices down to this 138.08 area and even lower, you know, if that occurs. So GBPJPY, what do we have here? Well, if we go to the monthly, GBPJPY, we can see a bullish momentum, clear as day. So if we go to the weekly, go to the weekly, we see this channel that has been respected and violated severally. What I would expect is that the market okay, let's go to the daily first. So for this right now, I think it might be on its way to push higher. So if we do not get a significant continuation downwards and we see a massive significant bullish close above the 160.72 area, we might see the prices hit 164.80 area. But if it closes below this area, this 160.72 area, then we might see as low as 156.0 156.0 as well. So whichever way it goes, our job is not to determine where the market should go or where we want it to go, but rather to make sure that wherever it tells us it is going, we join in that journey. Right, guys? So EURCHF. Now for the EURCHF, well, I expected the market to come into this area, or I predicted rather, the market to come into this area, do a retest and possibly a continuation to the downside. So we see the market has broken above that area but has not significantly left that area. So if we see a close below this area, a close below the 0.9856 area, the significant day close. So we might see the market see prices of as low as 0.9732 area. I don't know why I keep saying 1. So, or if we see a bullish close above, we might see as high as 0.9999, right? And finally, we might see a 1.0092 as well. So, bullish or bearish, we're ready to trade whichever opportunity we see. So now for USDCAD, what's happening to the USDCAD? USDCAD right now is looking like a typical pause of a bullish continuation. So let's check the H4 for, yeah, so it's giving us something like it's called a penchant, I believe. So possibly something like this, right? And we might get a close above this area. So I would like to see a close above this penchant and also this significant area of the 1.3747 area. So if we have that's double confirmation of like a bullish structure above. So our first target would be the 1.38599 area. Yeah, that will be our first target. 1.38599 area. Yeah, that'll be our first target for the bullish idea. I don't think I favor much of a bearish idea right now on this particular one. I don't, for the sake of knowledge, if the market remains below the 1.3747 area, it might see the 1.3655 area. So don't forget your stop losses should be above or below the previous day candle, right? Your stop losses should be above or below the previous day candle for the trading opportunities like this. Yes, previous day candle, that is the above for the sells and below for the buys. So the EURNZD, yes, good boy, has actually done what we predicted. Now I told you to expect the market coming to this area, this 1.7405 area, and I told you it was going to drop, and it did just that. Right, it's even gone further ahead to break the trend line and seemingly come to close below the 1.7014 area. I'm actually not impressed by this close because it's too close to this area precisely. So what I will look out for is if we get a significant bullish, do not just trade anything that looks bullish in this kind of area. Let it be significantly bullish, right? If you see a significantly bullish close above this area, above the 1.7014 area, then we might see market prices go back to the 1.7405 area. But if it continues bearish, I would expect you to look for some retracement into the 1.7014 area before continuing your debt sells to at least the 1.6747 area. That is for the EURNZD. Don't forget, we trade the daily close candle. So now for CADJPY, let me take this these things away first. Yep, so okay, refuse to go away. So we see the market actually did precisely what we expected. We predicted that the market was going to come into this area and then drop lower, and it did just that. So where's the market headed next? Well, I would like to see the market come into the target, this 95.39 area. So the market comes in here and then does a significant close above. Then we might see the 98.31 area as well. We might see new prices in the 98.31 area. But if you check on the higher time frame, you see that overall it has been a bullish momentum, right? So possibly we might see some bearish you might see some of this bearish momentum that has been playing out for some weeks begin to die out, right? So I would watch out for this trend line. Actually looks like the market has closed below the trend line, but hey, it's coming to this 95.39 area, and I have a theory about the market coming into horizontal support areas after breaking diagonal support areas, which is the trend line. So the market could come in there and bounce, right, and bounce so hard that it even closes above the trend line. You understand? So if that actually happens, this would be almost like a double bottom down here, and it could be a good news for the buyers of this pair. Yes, because we could see something as high as this. We could see the market go into this area. Let me mark that out first. You can see prices return to the 100.77 area, or better still, even much higher than that. You can see the market come into the 109.35 area as well. Right. Yeah, so that is dependent on the strength of the CAD of the Canadian dollar against the Japanese yen. So on to the next one, the EURCAD daily. So what's happening with EURCAD daily candle? Well, bullish, pause, bullish, What's next is going to happen here? I predict bullish. Oh, actually, it looks like it actually did something close to what we expected, that it will come into this area and then close above, and if it closes above, we are going to buy. So I think that scenario is actually ready right now, but I would advise that you wait. If you're not already in, I would advise, well, then you shouldn't be in already if you follow the analysis. I would advise that you wait for the market to do what it wants to do on the Monday morning before you try to look for entries in the new week's move, right? But if we see a significant close below the 1.4604 area, we might see the market come into the 1.4429 area as well. So on to the next one, AUDJPY. Sorry for that noise. For the AUDJPY right now, yes, it did what we expected, but it had touched this area before actually going back into the zone to, come back down. So what do I expect for the AUDJPY? AUDJPY, I would wait to see some bullish momentum first. I will see some bullish momentum above the 87.95 area. So when we get that bullish, significantly bullish momentum, then we can look for buys into the 89.797 area. If we have a significant bearish close below the 87.95 area, we could look for continuation in the sells to the 86.23 area. So on to the next, EURGBP rather. EURGBP did precisely what I told you about. I told you the market will come into this area. I told you I don't like selling, I don't like trading EURGBP because of the ranges and all. But I also went on to analyze that the market would come into this area and then fall off, and it did precisely that. I think it even came into the target right there. So what I would expect is, I would like to see what it does here. If it comes back into this area and then does a bullish momentum, then it will likely go back into the 0.8794 area. Yeah, so let's go on to GBPCAD. For GBPCAD right now, GBPCAD is bullish and seems to be quite more bullish than what we expected. We expected a deep retracement in this area, but it didn't give us that. It actually kept moving higher, right, instead of retracing. Now there is a trend line right here, a diagonal support. Now what is it going to do when it comes into that area? Well, what I would expect right now is that the market comes into this diagonal support. Let me do some clearing first. If the market comes into this diagonal support, I would expect it to close below the diagonal support and the horizontal, did I say support? Resistance rather. The market penetrates these resistances, yes, the diagonal and the horizontal, and closes below. I would expect to see bearish momentum coming, right? But if it closes above the resistance of the 1.6766 without closing above this trend line, I wouldn't touch it, because we just have to be sure first before putting our money into anything. Be sure of whatever you're putting your money into. So if it violates that area and closes below both of them, then we could see some sell-offs happen. But if it closes above both of them, then we could wait to see if it is not a false breakout. If we can confirm it's not a false breakout, then we'll wait for retracements to push higher, just like I had stated here in this line that I drew. So GBPNZD. For GBPNZD, I would expect to see the market I would expect to see the market come into this 1.89998. I know you might think it's far away, but possibly if it does that, then we can look for buys, right? But if the market is not going to go that low, possibly it will come into this area, this 1.92089 area. And the market comes into that area, the market might also come into this area before we see some bullish momentum back, or some bullish momentum back into the 1.9834 area. That is for GBPNZD. For AUDNZD, like I expected, the market should keep dropping down to 1.0609, right? That's what I expect. And if the market drops that low, then I would look for some bullish moves. Now these bullish moves might not be the big types that I would expect, but we'll just first take it back into this area. Take it back into this area, this 1.0710 area, right? And if it wants to go higher, it's fine as well, right? Let me see this. So it's also coming into a major resistance area. Now look at the bounce that I told you about. I think that was an euro, or one of the pairs I just analyzed. This is what the kind of bounce I'm talking about. The market could close below, could go below the trend line, but could bounce off a support, right? So I expect something similar from this new journey into that trend line area. So let's go to AUDCHF. So AUDCHF pulled a surprise last week because it was bearish, significantly bearish for a few weeks, and now it seems to have done some bullish moves on us. But it also appears it has come to retest a trend line that it broke. Could that be the case? Well, I doubt it. It could just be another case of false breakout right now. I doubt it's a breakout test. It could also be a case of false breakout, and possibly we'll see some retracement. We'll see some retracement into the 0.6170 area before a continuation of the bullish momentum into the 0.63139 area right here, right? But if it is actually a retest, so we might see the market penetrate the 0.62237 before continuing to the downside, right? If it penetrates that area and closes below, significantly bearish, right, it might continue a downward trend. So AUDCAD. So what's happening with AUDCAD? Now for AUDCAD, let's look at the monthly. Okay, let's see what's happening. For the weekly, okay. So we might just have on our hands another bullish opportunity right now. We have another bullish opportunity to, to benefit from. So what I would expect is the market continue into the, into the 0.9300 area. If the market stays above the 0.9108 area, then it would see the 0.9300 area. Look for a day close candle, significant one, say day close bullish candle to push into that area. But if it closes below the 0.9108 area on a bullish day close candle, I would also like to see it close below the trend line first. Alright, so we don't have ourselves to blame. If it closes below the trend line as well, we might see the price go as low as 0.9, 0.89, 111, 115, or even much lower, since we seem to have some really bearish momentum in this currency pair. So on to the next one, NZDJPY. For NZDJPY, we see another example of what I call the bounce, where the horizontal support did not hold, or the diagonal support did not hold, but the horizontal support held and bounced the price back into the channel or back above the diagonal support or resistance, which we call trend lines. So we see another example of that, and that was precisely what I predicted that was going to happen. The market comes into this area and bounces higher. So we're seeing it make some make some moves above, and yes, it is having a trouble around this 82.78 area. I think that trouble should be expected because that is a significant area of resistance. So what is going to happen to the market? Well, we would see if the market is strong enough to resist, to push above this price, and if it's able to do that, fine. But if we have another violation of that area and the market fails to break above and close above, if the market closes below the 82.89 area, then we might possibly see a continuation to the downside. We see as low as 81.13 area, even as low as 75.68 area. I think that's even a lot low. So we could just first look at an area as low as 78.85 right there. So NZDCAD, right? NZDCAD, what's up with NZDCAD? Well, I can tell you one thing. NZDCAD is or has been bullish. NZDCAD has been bullish, and I think we should always remember how important what the market is telling us is. So it has been bullish, and we've seen this pause right here. This is a pause, right? We've seen the market pause right here. And we can also do something like this. Let me see. The market seems to have broken above this diagonal resistance right here. So what is going to happen? What I would expect is first a confirmation that this is not a fake breakout. So the Monday close candle will do that confirmation for me. Should do that confirmation for me. So if it does that confirmation for me, fine. So it will be nice to see the market, show some wicks into this area and close above. Then we can, look at some opportunity to buy to as high as this area, or even this area right here. So we can buy as high to as high as 0.8797 area. But if the market closes below this 0.85 0.538 area, then we might continue to the downside to as low as 0.83412 area. So make sure you risk properly and don't over leverage your trading. So NZDCHF. And what's NZDCHF doing? Let's look at the weekly first. Okay, now it looks like the bulls are coming in and it's quite huge right now. It's quite huge right now. So this as well could serve as for people who trade supply and demand. This could also serve as a demand zone right there. So possibly the market is reacting to the demand. Fine. So let's go to the daily. What opportunity can we take from this with our strategy? Well, what I would expect is just let the market do whatever it wants to do, but only wait for it at significant areas of the market. So if the market penetrates this 0.5747 area and closes significantly bullish above, then we can look for buys to as high as 0.5914 area, or even much higher to the 0.6084 area. But if the market penetrates and closes below, significantly bearish, then we can look for sales to as low as 0.5646 and even much lower to as low as 0.54944 area. That is for NZDCHF. Now to NZDUSD. Now to NZDUSD. Now we can also see the effect of the bullish move on the NZD. Right, we can see something looking like an inverse head and shoulder pattern right here. And you can see it, you can see this. Let me show you if you can't see it. You can see this. You can see this. You can see the neck. Alright. So look at another one. Yep. Right there. Then now we seem to be having this. So is it going to come into the full picture of what a head and shoulder should look like? I doubt it. Yes, I sincerely doubt it. Right. Well, if it's going to do that, I believe it's going to struggle for a long time, or for some days. It's going to struggle for some days around in between the 0.6307 area or 0.6200 area. So what would I expect you to do? Well, typically if we get a close, a significant close below this 0.6307 after the market has violated it, and then we have a significant close below, and it's even better if the close is also below the trend line, right? So we could see prices as low as 0.6200 or even as low as as low as right here first. Let me see what that is. 0.6093 area or 0.59311 area as well. So any of those, perfect. But if the market pushes above and closes above, wait till we confirm if it's a false breakout. If you confirm that, then hey, push into the 0.6382 area and much higher to as high as 0.565377. So CHFJPY, what's happening to CHFJPY? Now CHFJPY was looking quite bullish last week, I think. So I expected it to come into this major area and push higher, but that didn't happen. But for the market to cross that major area, it had to do a major slice of that area. Yes, that market really had to needed a lot of force to break below that area, and it did just that. So what I would expect is for the market to come back into that area. Market comes back into that area, we get some good violation of that area and close below the 1.144 rather 75 area. Then we see opportunities to sell towards low as 137.39 area. But if that we don't get something as low as that, I believe we shouldn't even expect such. Let's look at getting it into the 142.64 area, and if we can achieve that, then we can look for opportunities to buy as well, right guys? So if it closes above this area, closes above, significantly above, then we can look for opportunities to buy even to higher prices right there. So AUDUSD, what's up with AUDUSD? Yeah, I gave a trade on AUDUSD last week that this should be the entry, this should be the risk, but the market didn't even come into the entry, so it's no loss, no profit situation right there. So what's up with AUDUSD? As it started doing a new thing, now for a situation like this, this could trigger an opportunity. This could trigger some bullish responses, right? Seeing a setup like that. But knowing how unpredictable the market can be, I'll just give you the typical things to look out for. What I expect is the market, comes back in this area, violates these areas, and also closes above. When it closes above the 0.6680 area, then look for buys into the 0.6834 area. Or if it closes significantly bearish below, then continue to sell into the 0.65446 area, or as low as 0.6407 area as well on the AUDUSD. Now to GBPCHF. Now for GBPCHF, you remember, if you checked last week's analysis, I told you it's possibly a good buy. A good buy to get if it closes above this diagonal resistance and also this horizontal resistance at the 1.1315. Close above both. Close above both of them, then you could target even to as high as this. Yeah, you could target to as high as that right there. You could target to as high as the 1.575 area if we get that break. In fact, that break would lead to much as high as 1.2082 area, so I don't think that will happen all in 1 week, but that is something to look out for. Now at this point, be careful with your sell biases, right? So I won't even talk about the sell bias right now because of this setup right here, because of the formation of the market for now. Now for NZDCAD. Now NZDCAD, I did the analysis, right? I think I've done NZDCAD analysis already. Yes, I have. How did I go back to that? Yeah, I've done the NZDCAD analysis. I've done GBPCHF now to GBPAUD. Now for GBPAUD, it's looking like a typical situation of a bullish rally, a pause, and a continuation higher. But is that really what's happening? I think so. I really think so. I really think so. Yep. I really think so. But I would expect that that you're careful with jumping into buys right now. But if we get a significant bullish close above this area, a significant bullish close above the, let me check what that is, above the 1.8334 area, and bullish close above, so we could see the market go to as high as we can see the market go to as high as 1.8906 area, right? But if we get a situation where the market surges, continues to go below, so if the market maintains below the 1.8181 area, then we should expect to see some 1.7932 price right there. Right, guys, thanks for watching today's video. I stopped by to let you know that with the service we provide, you can earn as much as 25% profit and much more monthly on your investment without giving your capital to anyone. Yes, you heard me right. 25% profit and much more without giving your capital to anyone. Also, if you refer anyone to invest, we will give you a 15% commission on the profit we make. Reach us via the link provided in the description below. Thank you. Mike Earn is willing to help.